Start dropping in some questions, guys, if you've got them. Haley, yeah, playing the T word 3. Hey Alexis, who thinks are good in Guatemala? As soon as anyone gets some questions in, I'll start answering them. Or if you've got requests, I can start trying to play something else. If you don't mind hitting the like button, I think that helps other people discover stuff. You're watching me play myself whilst you're in the bath. That's super cool. Don't tell anyone, but the Tone Shack is not an employee at Yamaha. Okay, I'll turn the voice down. Is that better balance? If you keep the feedback coming about what's noisy and what's not. Okay, right, so we start to get some questions in. The guitar is still quiet. Okay, I'll turn that up even more. If people tell me about the balance as we go, that's helpful. Just tell me when things get to a good... You can hardly hear the guitar still. I've just turned it up, so I think there's a little bit of latency, but let me know. Right, I'm just going to keep looping a bit longer so that we can figure out whether things are good or not. Thanks for the feedback. I'll keep adjusting. And I'll get back to these questions as soon as people let me know. Bit more volume for guitar. I'm just conscious that I don't want to clip YouTube, so keep me in the loop. Right, I'm going to assume that we're okay with levels for the minute now until someone says otherwise. Let me know if you can't hear my voice. Hopefully you can, otherwise that would be awkward. Right, so I'm going to go back to the questions. Adam Chick said, love the runs you do. How do you always keep them in perfect tempo? So thank you for that, but I actually don't. But timing is something I've been very conscious of for a while. Voice is a bit boomy. There's not too much I can do about that, I don't think. I guess I could try. Okay, so in terms of working on timing, the thing that I'm trying to bear in mind when I'm doing these runs, the kind of the instinct is to kind of imagine that they're faster than they are, and you can end up sort of running ahead of the beat. So that's what I'm trying to avoid, and that's what I'm conscious of. So when I'm playing the run, I'm trying to keep in mind what the timing should be. It's worth practicing this stuff without delay and reverb, because that can sort of mask some of the timing stuff. So this is a click, so you might use slowish clicks like this. Anyway, that sort of thing, and just try running through whatever you're doing with a slow click and trying to stay in time with what's happening. And just be listening all the time to what's happening. If you're going out of time, bring yourself back in. I think the hardest thing to stay in time with is kind of slow legato, so that's a particular thing to focus on. But those are, I've done some videos on timing. Let me see if I can find it for you. But these are kind of my suggestions for how to work on timing. It's something that I still work on, and I think it's definitely worth putting lots of time into, and it's things you can do away from the guitar as well, which I think makes it kind of fun to do. So, you know, as you're driving along or whatever, walking the dog, you can be also working on your timing in various ways. Jake, that's the one thing you're not allowed to ask, because I made this screen specifically for that. So read the screen. Screen? Right, on to the next question. Is that okay, Adam? Hopefully that sort of answered that a little bit. So playing with a slow metronome, listening all the time and not being too focused on necessarily what you're doing. So sort of like keeping an eye on the timing with the back of your ear or something. Listening out for snare drums and trying to land on snare drums. Yeah. Lee, I've not heard or tried Ninjam. How's that working? Is that live looping? Yeah, I want a drum pad. I've got a like a Yamaha electric thing. Where did you find those smileys from, Jason? Um, and the other thing that helps to actually all the stuff that I recommend for timing is in that video. So maybe stick a bookmark on that one and check that out. I think there's not really a shortcut to having better timing, but there are things that you can do to improve it, and those are what I still work on most days. Julian says, do I work with drum looper software when recording, or do I write the parts myself? A mixture of both. So sometimes I'll use like sample packs of like Nate Smith has one or two. You know, these kind of players, they put out like loops. I've also got a friend, Miguel Andrews, who I've mentioned on the channel a couple of times, who will often send me drum loops and stuff that I use. But I'd say probably 80% of what I do is me clicking the drum parts in. What I want to do more of is to kind of build up my own kind of percussion tracks, whether that's playing with a drum pad or clicks or stuff like that, because I think that really helps to give a bit more of an organic feel, and also helps you to work on your timing, as we're talking about as timing. Krenna, hey, thank you for that question earlier on the video. I don't think maybe I do. Let's just basically crashed this. Right, let me get off of that. How do I get off of there? Oh no, it's a disaster. Right. The worry is that I'm now stuck in this commenting thing. Right, forget that, that's distracting. Thanks for throwing me off the rails, Jason. Guys, if you want to do the old like and subscribe thingy, I don't know if there's probably everyone here already knows what I do, but I'm going to show you this screen just in case. Has anyone else got questions, stuff you want me to play or anything? Let's see what we can do. You hate MIDI clicks. I really like MIDI clicks. Because they show me how bad my timing is. The thing is that you don't want to get too reliant on loud click tracks, I think, because when you then go to try and play with like a real click, not a real click, but like a real drummer or a real... So if I set my loop player doing this, for instance. So here's another thing to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4... Set yourself a click like this. Play along with this kind of click because it's a little bit less biting than a real click, and so that trains you sort of to listen a bit more. So trying to stay in time with this kind of thing, especially live, is a little bit more tricky because you're not necessarily hearing everything at the volume that it would a click. So this is good practice as well. So that sort of thing. That's kind of fun. That's cool, Jason. What's happening at the weekend? Oh yeah, if you want to press the like button, that helps me, guys. By the way, right. Julian, I think you've got the next question I need to ask. John Mayer is the player that I listen to most out of those three. I'm not sure he's the most important player out of those three, divided by time, but for me, I listen to quite a bit of John Mayer, certainly early John Mayer. I don't know, probably his career has lasted longer than certainly Jimi Hendrix, and I think Stevie Ray Vaughan also died fairly young, didn't he? Right. Julian Angis, working on the recent legato lick. Cool. Are you going to be the first one to post it? Stuck on 130 BPM. Any tips? So as long as you stay stuck on that, that's fine. But try to keep things comfortable and with the feeling that they're rolling along. I assume if you know that you've got 130 BPM, that you are working with a click. A thing to try is to go back and then up and stuff like that. So go back to 125 and get that feeling super comfortable. Then maybe push it up to 131. Little increments if you're feeling like you're plateaued. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend on the speed stuff, to be honest. So for instance, I'll just get a click here. So let's say we're at 130. I have my click at half time, by the way. 1, 2, 2, 2. So are you talking quavers at 130 or semi-quavers? Because semi-quavers are quite fast. I don't even remember what tempo I'm playing it at. You don't have to play it at any speed. What was the lick even? So, hey Kevin, how you doing? Yeah, so I would just... Speed is not really the goal for me, I think, with a lot of this stuff. I think that encourages people to sort of jump ahead of maybe some of the harder work. Trying to get the thing solid and feeling comfortable and like the feeling that it's rolling, to me, is the key to building up speed eventually. And you hear Guthrie say this sort of thing, like work on accuracy rather than speed. I'm playing at 150 BPM. Well, so you're not far off then, so that's fine. So I just focus on playing it cleanly. That's more impressive than speed to me, so... Almost all of it. Jake, you use one of the IRs that's not stock. I think you use 2 of them. Yep, I agree with Loopy. Timing and consistent tone and volume. Even playing it slower is harder, I think, than fast sometimes. Case in point, given that I can't play it. Right, if the guitar's quiet... Does it get louder if I do this? Yes, it does. That's interesting. Which processor do I have? Yeah, Jake, I loaded 2 of the if you check some of my videos, I tell you in them what they are. Maybe I'll dig them out for you. What are you talking about processor, Felipe? Okay. I was just playing. I've got my volume knob here, so that's why you're hearing the volume changing and stuff. So keep firing away questions, guys, and if you want to hit the like button, that'd be cool. I don't know what you mean by processor. If you can play it near that speed, then you're fine anyway. I think just don't worry about speed too much. I think people probably over focus on it. Certainly I'm guilty of it myself, but faster isn't always necessarily better. Can you describe how you emulate the freeze pedal on my Helix? Do I want to? I'm going to put in a Vibroverb 115 in there. Okay, but no one else is allowed to tell anyone what I'm doing unless they've bothered to buy my presets, which incidentally are just £3 for all of my presets. So I'm not trying to rip anyone off. But the freeze emulation is kind of one of the better things that I think I've done on the Helix, and I've not really heard anyone else doing it particularly. So this is what's going on. Here's what Kevin's talking about. So you hear there's that thing sustaining underneath. So this is Helix. This is all Helix. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Les Pauls divided by time. Can you tell me what your real name is? So Kevin, basically what's going on is there's a series of delays, and then you need something like a noise gate or a volume pedal, and also a snapshot is what's going on basically. I can tell you offline specifically if you want. The Eric Johnson clean is fantastic. Thank you. That's probably one of my favourites. Hey Dave, how you doing? Sorry I didn't come back this morning. My computer was being C-word. Right, what am I... Besides Eric Johnson, which other musicians inspire me? Loads of them. So should we go through a list? Pat Metheny, Gary Moore, Keith Jarrett, piano player, some musicians around me that I know. There's a bassist called Bill Banwell, there's a drummer called Miguel Andrews, people like that. Jacob Collier, I really like some of what he does, and let's talk about other things. Gilad Hexelman is a jazz guitarist from Israel who I really, really like. Jonathan Kreisberg. Most people call you Jay for short. What's it short for? Kevin. That's a bad joke. It was quite interesting seeing you look through that catalogue, Dave. I like that as an idea for a video. Some creepy photos in there for sure. Other players that inspire me, so certainly back in the day Guthrie did, and still dig his stuff, you know, like the old Erotic Cake stuff. John Petrucci back in the day I was really into. As I grow up a bit, some of the more bluesy players like Larry Carlton, Robin Ford, a guitarist called Jake Loosemore. My right hand technique, I'll get to that in a sec. Um, who else? Other players that inspire me. Charlie Allen is a guitarist who I don't know, but I know people who know him. But he's based in London now. Really, really like his playing. There's a guitarist called Casper Jalili, who I'm friends with on Instagram. We chat and stuff. I really, really like his playing. Mark Lettieri, I really like his playing. I'm not one of these people who says that, you know, I think it's a little bit fashionable, I've said this before, to say that you don't really listen to other guitarists. I don't really feel that way anymore. I feel like, yeah, I do like guitar, so I listen to guitarists. Pliny, in terms of heavier stuff. Owain, those two, I like what they put out. Yeah, lots of stuff like that. Right, so Aaron, in the first year or two of playing Kevin, it would have just been church music. So, like playing some of the, what's the word that you would use for songs that are played in church? Are they called choruses? Is that the term for them? Do I know Martin Miller? Yeah. As in I know of. Stephen, I've not played the GT1000, partly because I sort of don't like the way that Boss do things. Hold Speen. Let me. Okay, I can check that out later on. Martin Miller, yeah, we used to both be on the Petrucci forum back in the day. I really like some of his playing as well. He's written a song called An End in Itself, Julian, which is one of my favourite songs, so it kind of does this thing. Let me have a little. So yeah, that's a Martin Miller tune. Sorry, I really love that tune. Certainly, the early version of that was awesome. The church guitarist thing doesn't necessarily look like how you think it looks in the UK, Jake. It's not really the same. I know over in America, there's sort of a whole kind of. I don't mean this in like a rude way, but like the gospel scene, I think, kind of originates from gospel churches and black churches. I grew up in the West Country, and as you know, it's not really that much a kind of thing going on at all. So it's definitely not the same kind of scene as you see in America and stuff, and definitely not as cool. But you still get to learn like a lot of music and stuff like that, and learn to play with other people. Jay, where are you from? We did touch on a tiny bit of Hillsong stuff. The stuff I used to play in church. Let me think. I'm trying to think of something good that I used to play. Hey, Ruben. So Ruben plays in church and stuff in Portugal, as far as I know. So I have a thing that I do with Ruben where I try and play songs that he might know, because it's kind of interesting to see how things translate. But yeah, Jake, church in this country is not really at all like the cool stuff that you see coming from America. In my experience, there are some kind of when you get to like they do like massive camps and stuff. Some of the musicians at those kind of things are cool. Um, so yeah, stuff that I used to play at church. Let me try and think of something. Uh, yeah, I think that's the same Lee as well over here. I think possibly you'd get like a couple cooler churches towards London or in some of the more urban areas. I I'm trying not to sound like I'm a racist person or something, because what I'm saying sounds kind of weird, but it's not really the same over here. Does that make sense? Or I sounding like a complete idiot? Julian, I all of those backing tracks go um, on Patreon and stuff, so I'd love to see people playing over that stuff. Um, Let me think of a tune that I would have known from church. Kevin, do you go to church? I'm trying to think of the sort of stuff that I used to like playing. Um, that's cool. Right, I need to tune my guitar. Someone name some tunes. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. So this is what was um, we have that kind of divide here as well. Lincoln Brewster. Yeah. I think the cool thing about growing up in church, you know, whatever sort of church it is, you I don't know either of those two songs, Julian and Divided by Time. Um, it was about 18 years ago, potentially, so I can still remember loads of songs, but they did a cover of Ain't It Fun. I know that one. I can only imagine. Right, I know that one. Right, sorry, I'll try and play that then. 3, 1. that sort of thing. Oh, this is a thing. I need to look up one of these Hillsongs tunes because there was some that I really like. I used to play along with Darlene Shazek. Is that how you say her name? I don't know. Let me try and find what it would be called. Hillsong. I don't know. Darlene Greatest Hits or something. But I do think there's a lot of great stuff in some of the worship band stuff, for sure. Keep firing the questions away. I'll try and answer them. Discography, right. Let me think. Ah, here's one. Okay. Right, let me get the lyrics to this thing and see if I can. This song. Alright, let me try and find a key for this. Hillsong. Capo 2nd fret they're saying, and they're playing, so it's in A then. Right, hold on. Right. I'm just going to get up the sheet of the lyrics so that I can try and remember what's going on. What a beautiful name. I don't remember that one. Cheers, Julian. Go for it. Right, I'm going to try and play... what's Oceans again? I don't remember that. Right, I'm going to try this bit. So there used to be this tune that went in. I would play along with this album probably most days when I was young. And I can still remember there's this lick in there that I used to really love the sound of. I think it's something like that. Jason, what sort of content do you mean? I mean, I'm feeling like I'm probably going to do something with that tune now, tomorrow morning or something, just because I remember how much I used to love that tune. But I'll need to listen back to it and find out exactly what it was. But certainly that Hillsong album specifically, I don't know exactly what one it was, but Worthy's the Lamb's on it, and some of that other stuff. I used to play that over and over and over again. And for me, I think that's probably where some of that ear training stuff comes from. Just playing songs. So, like, I haven't played or heard Worthy is the Lamb for many years. But I guess you could saw me sort of stumble through it. I can kind of play it. Let's try something again. I guess you still see this stuff creep into my what I'm playing. Like, I play Amazing Grace sometimes and stuff, and I don't think I liked much of that DC Talk stuff. Let me see if there's anything that I remember of that. To me, the Darlene Zschech stuff and all that was kind of a little bit Celine Dion-y, which is kind of right up my street. I don't know if you can tell from my dodgy playing. This guitar's not sounding very in tune. DC Talk, let's see, what have we got? My Friend, maybe I know. No, I don't know any of that. Was that kind of the... Is it Matt Redman? Matt Redman? I might know a few of his. What's Blessed Be? Maybe not that one. There's going to be for sure some Matt Redman stuff that I know. But I might have to hear them first. No, I've not frozen. I'm still here. Right, fire away with some questions. Ruben, I might ask you if you want to do a version of that Worthy as the Lamb. If you do a little collaboration on it, maybe. I don't know, that could be fun. Check out this again. I'm going to put this on. I'm asking you to like and subscribe if you don't hate my playing. That's what's happening today. What's this one about mountains? Mountains. Oh, that one's a bit repetitive. There must be one or two other songs from that album. See you, Jason. I'm currently at 2 dislikes. Thanks. Can you actually dislike a live video? Is that possible? Probably. It doesn't show me dislikes on this. Am I into ambient? What is ambient? How would you define it? Sounds to me like a little bit of a loose definition, so I'm not really sure. I've never had enough to find out. There was one time that I uploaded a video without any sound. I got quite a few dislikes on that, and people saying, "Oh right, they do happen. The likes go down if you dislike." Thanks for that, whoever did that. Yeah, so once I accidentally uploaded a video with no sound, and I got quite a lot of dislikes on that one, which is understandable. And then the other most disliked stuff that I've done, I did some videos sort of comparing the Neural DSP plugins to some Helix stuff. Cheers, Lee. Enjoy, and let me know how you get on with it. 3 now. That's awesome. What am I doing that people dislike so much? So, Cave Reverb. What is the Cave Reverb? Oh, what you mean, like the legacy one? I really like Glitz and Ganymede. Anyway, yeah, I did a video on the Neural DSP plugins, comparing it to Helix and stuff, and used the word Quad Cortex in the title, which was an issue for some people. Anyone got any other questions and stuff? Hey Nathaniel, have you posted any of them yet? I know you've definitely done the first one, right? Or were you wanted two for the price of one? I don't think the SM7B is better, no. Quarantine's not that boring for me. I'm enjoying playing guitar, and these live streams can help me to stay interested. Cool, Kevin. That's awesome. I don't know, what other style of licks do you want, Nathaniel? The ones that are best responded are the legato ones. Although on Instagram, the last one was kind of went into obscurity. So, I don't know. Tell me what you want. I'm going to be doing a lick a week, basically. So, so I'm thinking I might do a legato lick one week, then an alternate picking one the next. So I use programs. I use Native Instruments, Kontakt mostly, and occasionally organic drum loops from players like Nate Smith. I'm going to do this again. It's quite fun. So any other questions, guys? I think I'm going to stay around for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Hopefully this has been useful, but please jump in with some questions before. So the issue that I've got, Nathaniel, sorry, I'm struggling to say your name, is that I don't want to put up things that are too much of like an ego thing or anything like that, because I think the goal is to play the kind of licks that I actually play, and all of that is improvised. So any lick that I've got to work on for too long is not the sort of vibe that I'm going for. I'm trying to sort of play the musical-ish kind of runs that I hopefully you think I do. String gauge at the moment, so I've just strung this guitar up with String Joy 10 to 48s, I think. I put them on yesterday. I used either 10s or 11s. Action is relatively high. Well, you know, sort of medium action. Is certainly not low, and it's not massively high, but it's, yeah, not low. Why don't rhythm players get any respect? I think they do get a bit. Nile Rodgers for sure gets quite a bit of respect. Cool, Caspers, that's awesome. I hoped a few people got some useful stuff out of the Iridium videos. Hopefully, I did put quite a lot of time and effort into that whole project. thumb position is like that. If that helps at all, Kevin. Tips for relaxing and not being tense while playing. I think some of that is kind of fear-based, Caspers. So my tip would be to try and just relax in your mind as well. So, you know, mistakes happen to anyone, sort of, generally anyway. So just try not to be conscious of, you know, the kind of impending doom of the next mistake coming. That's one piece of advice I'd say. Try to enjoy the moment a little bit. Try and kind of in the back of your mind focus on what the pulse and rhythm is. Maybe don't try to play outside of yourself too much, you know, like that's when I tend to speed up and rush ahead of the beat, is when I'm kind of anticipating trying to do something, you know, technical. Maybe that's not, it depends if, you know, sometimes what the music is calling for at the moment is calling for you to blast everything. But yeah. Is there a reason that I don't play Fender? So I have a Fender in the house at the moment, a Fender Eric Johnson. You might have seen recently-ish, I had a Fender American Professional in like Sonic Blue. I've had a Fender Tele. I don't have any feeling against Fender or anything. I just think that there are other options out there. Jake plays a really nice Fender custom shop. The reason that I ended up with the blue K-line that you see in most of my videos is because at that time I was thinking about maybe buying a Fender custom shop, you know, if I had the money for it, but I don't. So instead I went for something that's effectively the same kind of guitar. You know, it's built, although yeah, it's just built by one guy in America, with quality stuff, and seems to really know what he's doing with the guitar. So that was what people were saying, you know, this guitar is kind of a similar kind of vibe to a custom shop Fender, but simply I don't really have the will to spend that kind of money on a guitar. Does that kind of answer that? But I've got nothing against, Loopy's got good advice there. I've got nothing against Fender. I think they kind of they do play some of the Leo designed some of my favourite guitars, so definitely nothing against Fender. MJT guitars, as far as I'm aware, are, maybe I shouldn't say this, I'll just ask, are they parts casters? Because I have a feeling they're similar to like a Nash guitar. Just curiosity about expending the time. Yeah, we've bumped into each other a number of times, but we probably would have seen each other a few more times if it wasn't for what's going on right now. Yeah, Jake's an awesome player. Hey Madho. So this, by the way, is a parts caster. It's one that came out okay. The blue guitar that I play most of the time in most of my videos is not a guitar that I made. The white Telecaster that you see in some of my videos is one that I made. But I think it's a bit up in the air whether a parts caster ends up good or not. Does that? I think that's probably fair to say. You could get it set up by someone. I have to say, I think some of the MGT look quite nice for sure. I don't know whether there's a massive difference between guitar bodies and stuff. Where can I take the latest Legato video? Cheers, Ruben. I'll catch up soon. I'll probably send you a message and see if we can get this Worthy is a Lamb thing done, because that'd be fun. Where would I take it? I mean, after a fast run like that, I'd probably not play. I'd probably play a long, sort of breathing note. Like that, maybe. Do you find that locking tuners are essential, Lucas? For me, I'm not much of a trem player, so I don't feel like I need them. I know other people have different opinions on that stuff, and obviously other people use a tremolo a lot more than I do, but and also I'm not a humbucker player, so I'm happy with a single in the bridge. But yeah. Anyone else got some quick questions before? Yeah, we could just get the Schecter then. I'm not really a brand person. I don't care too much about brands so much. Some of the American Fenders, if they're not the Averies, I feel like they're not very classic feeling. Is that sort of fair to say? You know, because they've got the 2 point trem systems, a lot of them. Yeah, if you're using the trem for a lot. Anyone got any questions, and jump in. I'm going to head off in a sec. Let's just... I did play a Squier Classic 5. I bought one from Tom Am just to see what it was like, the same time that I bought the J Mascis, but I picked it out of the box, played 2 notes of it and didn't like it. Caspers, if you're finding single coil hum, sorry, that's dodgy, isn't it? Move away from the speakers is my first piece of advice, and your computer screen. So most of the videos you see me make, I'm sitting in that chair over there, and I'm away from my monitor, I'm away from my speaker, and you don't get those hums. On stage, it's a whole different ball game, and I don't think there's much of a way to avoid it, except for to use in-between positions. So that's one way around it. Cheers, Jake. Do it. I'd say everyone's different, Nathaniel, and I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. I'd think about just trying to enjoy each moment that you pick up the guitar, and don't think too much about the long-term goals of everything. I think it's easy to kind of go on Instagram and feel bad about your playing. Everyone does it, even really good players. I think don't worry about it. Just worry about enjoying every moment you spend on the guitar, and hopefully that will make you want to pick up the guitar more, and that will make you progress because you're picking up the guitar and enjoying it. Play stuff that you want to play. Don't worry about playing things like Giant Steps if it doesn't speak to you. Don't worry about things that make your ego feel whatever. Worry about trying to play notes that sound good and music that speaks to you. It'd be my advice. And the progression will come as a result of you enjoying what you're doing, is my advice. Whatever that's worth. There you go, that's my boy Jack. Madhur, if you want to send me a message and tell me what you mean by modal interchange and modulation, I could try and tackle my approach to it. As it is, like a lot of these music theory things, we have different words for different things, and it's kind of difficult to know what everyone else means when they're saying things. So if you tell me what you think that means, then I can try and answer it. But I'm about to end this stream, so just send me a message on Hotmail or something like that. Email, I mean. Yeah. Yeah, well, also, you know, the fact that someone else does it better than you doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't say anything about what your ability is or about what your journey is. And I think I've read that from other players. You know, they say we're all on the same journey, we're just at different parts of the journey. You know, I think it's cool to have goals and stuff, but I don't think they should be the particular focus. For me, I find that just trying to enjoy each moment and day that you get is kind of the whole thing. And otherwise, I think you get dangerously into this kind of comparing yourself and, you know, the temptation to try and be perfect all the time, which I don't think is particularly healthy. And then it means especially that your ego will take a hit at certain points because you're not always perfect. So try to get out of that mindset a little bit. Actually, I've got a video that might help. This might be vaguely interesting for you. But it's basically kind of a message to myself. It's about you know, sort of being okay with where you're at. Can you message me on Instagram? You can, but I'm not always on it, so it might be better to email me, because I do actually see them. But you can, I'll probably see it on Instagram. Yeah. So that video that I've just linked is my thoughts on kind of trying to get some more enjoyment out of the guitar, and I think that kind of answers your question about what the amount of right practice is. I don't know, Lucas. You never know, because Alan Holdsworth had his own issues. If you watch some documentaries and stuff, I think he had his own struggles. So you never really know what these people are thinking. Certainly, I've come off stage and people have said, "Oh, that was a good gig" or whatever, and I'm thinking, "Well, no, I butchered this, and this." Not saying I'm Alan Holdsworth or anything, but I think people have different perceptions of their own playing. Yeah. Right. Hopefully that's been vaguely useful, people. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to flash this up one more time, and we'll be back for some more stuff soon. If you've got ideas about what you'd want me to cover on the channel, I've started to think about some more regular stuff. So the legato and alternate picking licks, if they're useful, I'm planning to do them sort of once a week. So probably dropping them on a Monday, so you've got something to work on through the week. And as I say in those videos, I want people to sort of engage with them and sort of tag me playing in them, tag them playing. Tag me in videos of them playing them. So if you could do that, that'd be cool. And yeah, I think I'm going to do another chords video tomorrow. So 7 new chords in the key of C major that you potentially might not have played before, that might be kind of fun to explore. There's not really going to be any theory talk, but it's just chords that you can start to experiment with immediately. I've heard some people wanted some more of those, so that's what I'll do. And yeah, cheers, Kevin. Enjoy that manual. And that's out of tune. I can't say I've heard much of it, Lucas. Probably if I heard it. So yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by, and thank you for. Yep, there will be more stuff like that coming, Kevin. Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow is some more of the chord stuff, and yeah, I'll be bringing some more of that stuff to you guys, hopefully. Again, if you just want to engage with the stuff and tell me what works for you, that's what I'm looking for. And thank you everyone for coming and stopping by. I'll catch you all soon, and yeah, cheers. If you want some backing tracks and stuff, I guess you know where to get them. Patreon. So yeah, thank you everyone, and I've been using the Helix in this video throughout, by the way. And you can get my patches and stuff there if you want. What song should I check out? But yeah, thank you for stopping by, everyone. I'm going to go and eat some food and probably watch some Curb Your Enthusiasm. Sorry about my playing today, it's been exceedingly dodgy. Cheers, Bert. Thank you for stopping in. Right, that's me done then, boys, and I'll catch you all soon. Thank you. World's waiting.